her caused Rachel to give up one of her handmaids to humble, and then he would make her wait years until she began to cry so much in prayer. Then he would hear her prayer and open up. So he was ordaining polygamy. So there's no way in the world that these women can say that this is something that the Most High doesn't ordain, and that he just didn't say nothing when he was enforcing it. Because if that's the case, he would have made sure that Rachel's womb was open right away and Sarah's womb was open right away, so they could hurry and have those children. So when I was studying the scriptures, I saw that. So it's no way in the world. And I also realized that polygamy helped make these women more humble, because they would see, I realized that they would begin to see that the other wife was getting favored for certain reasons, and it would cause them to get in competition because they all like children. They try to become better than the next wife, and they begin to keep the law more and become more humble towards their husbands. So it was enforced by the Most High. It wasn't just something he just temporarily allowed, but he enforced it. And, I don't feel like shy about saying that once I began to study the scriptures, because certain women were trying to make me feel guilty for saying that. And when I began to realize that, why would he close the womb of these women if he didn't want them to have to give up their handmaids? Because he's all-knowing. So it didn't make any sense to me. So I agree exactly with what you're saying, and no man has to be liable to a woman telling him. And I also noticed that all of the virgin women I met that haven't been, who are young, and they had come into the truth of the Most High, even on Facebook, they fight with the older women about polygamy. I actually heard a virgin woman literally say out of her own mouth, or a young virgin woman say, "I'm only 18 or 17 years old," I believe she said. And she said, actually, I don't even get why we're. She's like, I would love to have a sister in the truth with me. It gets lonely sometimes just being under a man. I wouldn't mind having a sister wife. She's not even looking at it from the whole like this perspective of a rebellious. She's looking at it like just an extension of a woman, of a family, that they could both get along and do double the work and make it easier. So it was like it was night and day between the women who grew up under the Satan's authority and spent too many years listening, and then a woman who was a virgin, who hasn't even slept with nobody, who really has a better choice of picking a better man. She has all the men under her post arguing, trying to get to her, because they see how submissive she is, and she pretty much has to pick up any one of these men, because there's very few women who's even a virgin that's even saying this. So obviously, I think our men are probably, being persuaded by our traditions of the Europeans, like you're saying, and they're not really studying these scriptures. So I just wanted to say I 100% agree with you. It's funny that it came up, because I was just looking at this stuff, and it was like blowing my mind. I didn't see it before, but I see it now. Well, if you give all praise, I'm going to the Most High too for opening my mind about His righteousness as well.
Well, all praises to our Heavenly Father. You are very much right. You are so right. That's just the truth. But it's, as we get towards the end, as the fourth kingdom is collapsing, a lot of things are being revealed. A lot of things are being exposed. We are like I said today, there's a lot of our people who are pretending towards this thing. We have to accept this thing. We have to accept it. We have to accept, because the reason why we even question these things is because of the situation that we grew up in. Our grandmothers didn't have problem with this thing. They didn't have problem with stuff like this. So it's something that we say when it comes to dressing. 100 years ago, we're not going to be arguing about wearing pants, but now we do. And you can wear pants if you want to. If you're a woman, you want to wear pants, sure, go ahead. If you're a man, you want to wear dresses, go ahead. Okay, I'm really, really busy to spend my time arguing with somebody. No, if it comes to a point that I have to argue with you before you can keep the law, forget it. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do. That's Christ's attitude in Revelation chapter 22. Revelation 22, he said, if you want to be righteous, good. You want to be righteous, go ahead. So as we near towards the end, there will definitely be, we can clearly see that a lot of things are going to be exposed. And for the men out there who want to be righteous, you are going to be coming across a lot, and your mindset have to change. You begin to see things the way they are, and it is what it is. So definitely, you are right in what you said. You said it right that the Most High uh, actually was the one that ordained the polygamous relationship, that marriage between Abraham, Sarah and the other woman. The Most High did it because he could have just allowed Sarah to get pregnant. Because we believe, I hope that we do, we claim that the Most High is in charge. We claim that he knows everything, he can do anything. That's what we claim. So why didn't he make Sarah to get married? I'm sorry. Why did he make Sarah to become pregnant? If Sarah had become pregnant right away, what's the point? The only reason why they had to bring in the woman, bring in this woman is what's her name? Ishmael's mother. The reason why they had to bring her in was because she was not able to get pregnant, and she didn't want to wait because she thought differently. And as a woman, you're gonna have to start thinking like her. It doesn't mean that you're gonna be. You probably don't have a man in the house, so you don't have to actually do anything. But at least the mindset needs to change. You have to think like your ancestors. You have to look at something like polygamy and be like, I don't see any problem with that. I got a sister the other day that I was talking with on the phone, and she said something like, a Hebrew man is supposed to have a Hebrew man can have more than one wife, right? I was like, yeah, as long as you take care of them. And she's like, yeah, that's what I thought. And she said it so casually. She's an older woman. She said it so casually. She's like, yeah, that's what I thought. So there are women out there who don't have any problem with this. Now you just have to understand that opposing something like this it's a big deal in the sense that no matter how small it is to you, you are opposing something that the Most High established. And that may be a non-deal. Opposing polygamy may not be a big deal to you if you're a woman. Standing against it or speaking against it or not agreeing with it may not be a big deal with you. But it is, because it's part of the law. It is part of the law. Okay? And it's not okay to oppose some laws and accept some laws. So it's not just okay. Now, for me personally, you can accept whatever the hell you want to accept. You can believe whatever. That's up to you. But I'm so busy right now. I don't have time to chase anybody around. I don't have time to sit and argue with you and convince you if I have to convince you to accept the law, there's already a problem right there, like I said. The law is for those who will willingly. The Most High said in Deuteronomy chapter 5, from verse 25. Deuteronomy chapter 4 from verse 25. He said that in the later days, if we accept the law with all our heart and with all our soul, we have to accept it all, every single one of them. He ordained these things. He is the one that made the Europeans our enemies. Now we are struggling to not love them. We're struggling not to not love our enemies, while they have no problem killing us. They have no problem slaughtering us. They have no problem persecuting and oppressing us. But we have to sit and debate whether we should hate them or not, whether we should stay away from them or not. So there are some things that the Most High established, and like the brother pointed out, it's really clear. It's very simple. You can clearly see it, that the Most High was the one that allowed Sarah to not get pregnant. The Most High was the one that allowed Rachel and her sister to have the situation that they had, to the point that they had to bring in their maids. The Most High allowed these things to happen. Don't forget that the 12 tribes came from those 4 women. So when they got, how come all 3 other women, the other women were getting married and having kids? But then Rachel and Leah had to have those problems. How come? And these are women that are supposed to produce the 12 tribes, and the Most High is supposed to know everything, right? So for him to allow these women to be barren and not have a child and have to take their maids and give to their husband, for that to happen, it was ordained by the Most High. So yeah, you're right, brother. Absolutely, you are absolutely 100% right. You're 100% right. But all praises to our Heavenly Father. I thank the Most High and thank you for the inputs. You're 100% right. The Most High ordained it. And again, as I dealt with this today, you kind of like have an idea why people oppose these things. And let me tell you something, just ignore them. Don't waste your time arguing and debating polygamy with anybody, any woman. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. What exactly are you debating? They are not marriageable. Marriageable. Are you going to marry them or something? So don't play that game with them. Don't stoop that low to sit and debate polygamy. Really? Don't do that. Don't waste your time with them. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. But like as I said, you have to understand the process. I really, 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 really broke it down. Okay, this took about 2 hours and 10 minutes. I broke it down and I tried to explain a lot. And it was recorded, so you can listen to it in the audio when it comes out. Okay? A lot of people are gonna be upset and angry. Their head may explode, because of the things that they will hear. I try to break it down. So you can't just jump into polygamy. Even though you can do it, you can't just do it. Okay? You have to have the resources that you need. You cannot live in 2-bedroom apartment and do polygamy because you have these two women in the same place. And like as I said, they're like kids. You can't have them even kids that are brothers and sisters, they fight. Siblings fight amongst each other. Imagine two different women. So you have to be polygamy is something that you can do somewhere that you're able to buy a land, build your own house, and then have ability to build maybe one little house over here, one little house over there, so they can have their space, have their little, even if it's just one bed, one room, so they can have their space in their room. When they're in their period, they stay over there. They have their little space. That will help to create peace because they have their distance. Not too good to be too close and to be too, it's not good to be in the face of everybody at all times. Sometimes people need their space. When there's tension, people will go to their space. Tension will cool down. So polygamy is not, even though it's biblical, I wouldn't advise anybody to do it. You have to have what it takes to be able to do it. And if you feel like you have what it takes and you're able to take care of those physical aspects, and you feel like you're that spiritually that you're ready, that psychologically you're ready, mentally you're ready, go for it. Go for it. If you're marrying a woman for the first time, let her know that you may end up marrying another wife, just so she doesn't feel betrayed. Because most women are against polygamy. Most women are against polygamy. So before you marry a woman, you have to let her know so that she doesn't feel like you tricked her when you do it. Let her know ahead of time. Look, I love you. I'm marrying you. I'm just letting you know right now that everything is cool. Everything is fine. I'm not mad at you. I love you. I'm not mad at you. But I'm letting you know that I may end up marrying another wife. Not because of you. So you have to let them know ahead of time for those that want to do it. So all praises to our Heavenly Father. I thank the Most High for His love and His kindness, and all glory to the Most High. All right. So does anybody else have anything before we close?
Let me just ask this a small question. Now let's say for instance, right? You know how different states and different cultures, some women are more reserved, but they in a false religion. Like, you know, they did many more. Muslim, she remained a virgin all the way until her wedding night. And you know, I know sisters because I used to be Muslim and like you know Mormons where they have women who understand polygamy. Can you hear me?
Your phone were kind of breaking up, but go ahead.
Okay. I said that. Now, what about people who were in, you know, because most of us were raised in different religions. Like I was raised in Islam, and you have women who accept modesty, and like the Mormon women, they accept modesty and polygamy. They have no problem with it if they're willing to learn the scriptures and and they reserve themselves, like my sister did. Is it okay for us to marry them if they're able to, you know, believe in the Bible and come over, or just the fact that they already were previously indoctrinated with another religion? You know, are they still automatically considered, you know, like unequally yoked, like to the point where I can't even pursue them?
Well, I answered this earlier on. Now I'm going to make this video, it will be available in audio. I'm going to make it available, and I will encourage you to listen to it again at your own time, because I did address this. So, and I think you may have logged out when I had addressed this. And what I said was that you're not trying to find a perfect woman. Okay. Don't look for a woman who, when I say perfect woman, I mean a woman who knows all the laws. That's not what you're looking for, because you yourself did not know all the laws. At some point, you started learning the laws. So, and also because you are supposed to teach her. So, if you're supposed to teach her, how can she then come in knowing all the laws? That means that somebody has taught her. Okay, so, um, so you what you're looking for is somebody who is willing to submit to the law of the Most High. That's what you're looking for. So as soon as you show her about fringes, she's willing to wear her fringes. She has desire. You can see it. She don't know much. She doesn't know much, but whatever she finds out, she wants to do it. If she finds out that she's not supposed to wear pants, she takes it off, and you never see her with pants again. If she finds out that we have to wear fringes, she gets it and she's looking for it. She's sewing it into her clothes. That's what you're looking for. Someone who is willing to accept and obey these laws as they learn them, because you're supposed to teach them. So, but if you talk about pants and then for the next 5 minutes you're arguing, once you have to argue with her and you're debating, forget it. Forget it. She is not, psychologically, she's been defiled. If you talk about wearing fringes, she's arguing with you. There's a problem right there. I had that experience. I had a young girl. Now she's married. Now she has a child. Now she's married and she has a child. She was a virgin. She was a virgin. She was young. But when I brought up the issue of wearing fringes, I showed it to her. She saw it. So I gave her a break. When I asked her again about fringes, she told me that she did not see anybody wearing it around. She doesn't see people wearing it like pastors wearing it. And I was like, so you're not going to do it because you don't see people doing it? But I showed her from the scriptures. So that right there is a red flag. I had no problem because she didn't know. That's not a problem. I don't have any problem with anybody who doesn't know the law. No. I don't have any problem with people who don't know the law, because they don't know. There was a time I didn't know. There are things that I don't know. But what matters is what happens when you know. When you now know, what do you do? See, you're not looking for a perfect woman who knows everything, knows all the laws. No, you're simply looking for someone who is willing to learn. Someone who is willing to learn. who is not going to sit there arguing with you. They find out about fringes, they put it on. They find out about Sabbath, they keep it. That's what you're looking for. Then you teach them. That's it. That's it. So if somebody used to be in Christianity and they are willing to turn their back on Christianity and follow the law and listen to you, and you teach them. If a woman is willing to turn her back, because your question is, you brought up your question, and your question was basically, you're asking, what if somebody was a Mormon, or a girl is a virgin and she's following some other religion, and can you marry her? Yeah, if she's willing to turn her back on that religion. If she's a virgin or a true widow and she's willing to abandon Christianity and she's willing to keep the law, and you test her. See, that's why we have betrothing. Because somebody can pretend that, oh yeah, I'm going to keep the law. Oh yes, I love the law, blah, 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 blah. But after some time, they begin to show their true colors. So that's why we have betrothing. That's why it's not really good to see a woman and marry her right away. You see how you betroth her. Don't have sex with her though. As soon as you have sex with her, then now you're her husband. If you can control yourself, betroth her, watch her, teach her, and see what happens. See, when a woman is faking, when somebody is faking, when they are not being truthful and they're faking, it's just a matter of time before they reveal their true color. Just a matter of time. So we have betrothing. Betrothing happens when a girl is very young, before she even sees her period. From that moment on, she knows that you are her husband, and you're teaching her. You're teaching her, and she knows that you're her husband. And then eventually, you then marry her. As time goes on, you see that, oh, she's being honest. Because most importantly, you're really looking for someone that will continue to keep the law, even when you're not there. If you have children with her, you don't want a situation where you die, because we will all die. We're all going to die. You don't want a situation where you're no longer around and she will abandon the law. You don't want someone that keeps the law because of you, to please you. So it's kind of like a little bit tricky to be able to walk this fine line. In one hand, you don't want to keep looking for someone that knows all the laws and are keeping all the laws, because that means that someone else have taught her. And it's hard to find a woman, a girl that knows all the laws and following all the laws. It's hard to find that. So you're not looking for that. You're looking for somebody who is willing to obey as they learn, who is willing to submit to the law of the Most High. That's what you're looking for. If she's willing to submit with to the law of the Most High with all her heart, with all her soul, she will also submit to you. So that's what you're looking for. But at the same time, you have to also watch. You have to also watch on how she's doing it. People can pretend. They can pretend just to please you. You don't want someone that is willing to. So you're gonna be able to walk that fine line. You don't want someone that will be doing the law just to please you. If she's keeping it just to please you, that's a problem too. To me, I don't want to marry a woman like that who will keep the law to please me. Because as soon as I'm out of the picture, back to where she came from. She will go right back. If you die, she will go right back. If something happened between you and her, she will go right back to where she came from, which is Christianity. So you want someone that is keeping the law because she really, really wants to keep it because of the Most High. Because of the Most High. So when you're not there, she will continue. If she has your kids, she will continue to teach them. That's what you're looking for. So you have to walk that fine line of trying to find someone that is not perfect, who may not be keeping all the laws, but she's willing to keep it. But at the same time, she's not keeping it to please you. Because if she's pleasing you, then she will not do it for long. She is not going to do it for long if she's doing it to please you. And at that point, it doesn't count. Because if she's keeping the law to please you, then where is her heart? So it's a fine line. And these are things that, in a normal circumstances, let me tell you what happened. In the way it's supposed to be, maybe I should leave this for some other time so that I can have more time to go into it and really give you some information about women, and finding them and all that stuff. I think I'm going to leave it for some other time. We'll deal with this some other time because when you do it in the way of our Heavenly Father, everything will work out perfectly. Everything will work out. If you find let's say a girl is 10 years old or 12 years old, right? She doesn't know much. Her mind is still clean, pure. Her body is pure, her mind is pure. She has not made up her mind about Christianity. She doesn't even know, she doesn't even know about much about Christian doctrine. Whatever she knows at that age is what she's hearing people say. It has not gotten into her head yet. A 10 years old or 12 years old will not sit there and argue with you about wearing pants. What does she know about that? She's not going to sit there and argue with you about all this stuff. See? So at that point, you teach her. You're pretty much picking up from where her father left off. Numbers chapter 30. You're picking up from there, basically. So when you teach her like that, this is what she knows. This is all she knows. There's something else that happens. That's why I'm going to leave this alone for now. We'll deal with this some other time. But there's something else that happens. The Bible says that the two becomes one. Why does the two becomes one? Why is it that a man marries a woman, the two becomes one? Why? So we'll deal with that some other time. I'm going to leave that question and we'll use that question to continue. Because when you see these rebellious women you see today, and you're trying to marry them, I don't believe in luck. I want to wish you good luck. Because they have multi-personality disorder. They have a bunch of men inside of them. Different types of men inside of them. All these men they've laid with are all inside of them. That's why they act crazy. That's why they are loud mouthed. That's why they have no shame. And that's why it's been reserved. They have been reserved for men who don't want to keep the law, like it says in Sirach. So I'm going to give you some secret, some things. It's very powerful information. Even if it's not for you, you can pass it on to your young ones, to kids, to young boys. You can pass it on to them. Very important information. And you're going to see a bigger picture, a more important one of the reasons to avoid. And when you are told to marry a virgin, after we go through this, you're going to see the reason why you have to stick with the reasons why I'm laughing, because this is going to expose certain things. And you're going to see the reasons why. And after that information, after we do this, when you yourself would not even want to deal with a woman who is not a virgin. We'll go through it. So we're going to close it from here because, we're going to close it and we'll do it some other time. All right. All praises to our Heavenly Father. I'm thinking of doing something. I give our Heavenly Father all the glory and all the honor. I'm thinking of doing something. There's a lot that I want to do, but I don't have a lot of time to do all these things. But now that we have the capability we have on Skype to be able to record this right now, I would like to have brothers have something different, a different kind of a program. That's something that I think I've been thinking about it, but something that I will have to look into it and plan and see how that can be possible. But like we are right now, I want to have something that we can be able to, be able to participate together and deal with these issues. So it's pretty much part of it's an idea. Right now, I don't have the time and what it takes to do it and turn it into a full-fledged radio program. But we're just gonna do it the way we do it for now until that time, hopefully, Yazulin comes. So, um, so yeah, I'm gonna see, maybe talk to you, uh, you guys about it more. Uh, so in that way, to see. But it's something that I want to make it open, and possibly people might also call in, depending on time. Make it live or something. People can also call in to participate. But it's I want to be able to have a floor, an open floor, so that other brothers can join in. We can join in, and we can discuss these things. You know. So all praises to our Heavenly Father. I thank you most high. Does anyone else have anything before we close? Anyone have anything to any question? We may probably not deal with it right now, but we'll deal with it some other time when we meet. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Deuteronomy 24 verse 2. Why does it say that when a woman departs from her husband, she is free to marry another man?
Okay, that's a mistranslation. Read it in new. You read it in King James. Read it in the New King James. You see that they corrected the error. What you read there in Deuteronomy chapter 24, from verse 1 to 4. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1 to 4. You're quoting verse 2, but if you read from verse 1 to verse 4, you see that in King James it says that if you marry a woman and you don't like her, she she can go on to be the wife of another man. That's not that's a poor translation. So in King James it says that. In the New King James they corrected that problem. So in the New King James, Moses was telling you that if you put away your wife, he's just letting you know. He was just letting you know that if you, for whatever reason, your wife goes and lay with another man, you cannot take her back. That's what Moshe was saying. Because he told you in chapter 22 that if you take her virginity, she is your wife forever. So he cannot come back in chapter 24 and tell you that you can put her away and she can. No, 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 absolutely not. So she cannot, she is your wife as long as she is alive. She is your wife as long as she is alive. So what Moshe was telling you there, because there was it came to a point that these men were pretty much basically trying to put away their wives and stuff. And Moshe was just telling you, and that's what you can see there. He was just telling them, look, if you put away your wife and she goes to be with another man, I'm just letting you know that you cannot take her back because she's been defiled. So they had a poor translation in King James, and then in the New King James they corrected it. That's what's going on there.
So you said it's in the New King James? Because I'm looking at what's the NLT. It says the same thing. So which one is it?
Which one is what?
Because the new LT, it says when she leaves his house, she is free to marry another man. But if the second husband also turns against her, writes her document divorce, hands it to her, and sends her away, or he dies, the first husband may not marry her again. She has been defiled. That would be detestable to Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
So you
So
so what version do you said it's been changed so I can look at it?
okay, King James was poorly translated in that 4 verses. The New King James, they corrected the mistake that they made in King James. So these other modern translation, of course, was translated by Christians, and they followed after the error of King James. The point is that Moses cannot tell you in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28 and 29, that if you take the virginity of a woman, a girl, she is your wife as long as you are alive, and you cannot put her out. And then he comes to chapter 24 and says you can do it. Makes no sense. What was going on there is that he was telling people, if you put away your wife and she goes to be lay with another man, you cannot take her back. That's the point he was making. That is the point of those 4 verses. Just letting you know, as soon as the man gets on top of her and lays with her, done. You can't take her back. That's kind of what you saw in Jubilees chapter 33, verse 8 and verse 9. That's the reason why she told Jacob, you can't have me, I'm defiled.
Oh, okay. Seems like I guess a lot of people believe that because I even spoke to other Hebrew Israelite pastors and they told me they go to that verse. So I don't. A lot of people just don't if they don't understand it. So I don't know.
Well, you can just ask them about chapter 22. Show it to them and ask them. How can he tell them you can't put her away? She's your wife for the rest of your life. And then chapter 24, he says, put her away.
Yeah,
Let them
I
explain
understand what
that
you're
to
saying.
you.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It does contradict me, but I don't know. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, sir.
Brother Tobias.
Yes.
I was studying that was revealed to me too. Christ already answered that in Matthew 19 verse 8. He said that Moses only pretty much the Israelites were pretty much coming at Moses, and Moses was basically because of Deuteronomy 22 and Exodus 6:22. Pretty much a woman was bound to her husband to the day she died, but men being the leaders in charge, Christ was pretty much saying that Moses pretty much said write her a bill of divorce because they would be put to death if another man went into her and found some uncleanness, and it wouldn't be her fault them being in the wilderness, not having a way to survive after being put out of their father's house. So it was basically Moses just saying, like, because Christ already said that Moses just suffered that basically because you guys won't listen. So give her a bill of divorce so she wouldn't be put, because according to the Israelites, she would be put to death if the men they put her away and she had no way to live. Like these women wouldn't have no way to live when it was broken down in the Hebrew culture because the men were the providers. So basically, just so the women wouldn't die, but she wasn't allowed to come back to the man because she's defiled. So that's it. It couldn't be righteous if she's defiled and she couldn't come back to her first husband. Meaning that Moses just was saying that these women can't be put to death because their husbands are forcing them, and that's why Christ also said. One who puts away his wife without cause of fornication causes her to commit adultery. Because now she has no choice, because it's like, in that time, who's going to start the fire? Who was going to collect? Who's earning the money? Who was doing anything? So it's like your hearts were hard back then, but now it's no case. Christ has come back to redeem you of your sins. These women, they have to deal with, like the Sumerian women, they have to just deal with the fact that, okay, they put away. But that's why Moses in the wilderness was said about the bill of divorce, because they would be put to death, and the Son of Man went into him, and he changed his mind. I don't like you no more. And he could bring us to the congregation and say she has no tokens of her virginity, and should be so. Anyway, I was already explained that it's not supposed to be done.
Yeah, that's what Yeshua was explaining, and you can see that he basically, if you read Matthew chapter 5, verse 31, 32, and Matthew chapter 19, verse 8 and 9, that's the point that he was trying to make. That's why he said to them, it has been said that whosoever should put away his wife should write her a bill of divorce. But I say to you that whosoever put away his wife, except for the sake of fornication, causes her to commit adultery. So what Christ was saying there is that if another man lays with her, you can't have her anymore. That's when you put her away. And you see this demonstrated in Jubilees chapter 33, when that man, Reuben, had sex with this woman. When her husband came back from the travel and tried to have sex with her, she said, no, you can't have sex with me because I'm defiled. Because a woman was meant to be with only one man as long as that man is alive. Romans chapter 7 from verse 1 to 3. Romans chapter 7 verse 1 to 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 10 and 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 10 and 11 and verse 39. And also, in that Romans chapter 7. You clearly see it. It's very clear. So as soon as a woman loses her virginity, she's bound by that man, and no other man can touch her as long as her husband is alive. So again, the whole point of Deuteronomy, I have a video, I did it some time ago about this, probably more than 2 years ago or so. I have a video about this. I have a video. If you go to the Comic Kingdom app and you tap on biblical marriage, you see that video. It's in my channel, but it's all the way down because it's been a while since I did it. It's a very short video explaining this. So the whole point of what Moses wrote in Deuteronomy chapter 24 is to let the men know, if your wife lays with another man, none. You can't take her back. That's the whole point of that chapter right there. So some people may use it to say that you can divorce your wife. No, you can't put her away. You take her virginity, done. She's your wife. Unless if another man lays with her, that's done too. So yeah.
Hey Toby, yeah, I got a question.
Yeah.
My observation, would it be maybe because maybe like say like when I remember you was telling us about as far as the sacrifices for sin, that the Israelites, they was being kind of wicked, kind of smart, and they was sinning willfully, and they thought, okay, let's sin willfully, and all we have to do is go to offer a sacrifice, and our sins will be forgiven. So the Most High said, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm not gonna accept your offerings no more, because y'all doing it trying to be now y'all doing it for, not just doing it, y'all sinning, y'all know what y'all doing, y'all just trying to using it as a loophole. So would that be like what the Israelite man was doing for the wife? So say he's married to a woman, because it says if you find something displeasing to your wife. So say you marry a woman, then you out in the wilderness, you see another woman that looks, she looks better. So you say, so they was using try to use the bill of divorce as a loophole. It says still me cheat going straight and adultery. I'm a divorce my wife so I can now marry another woman, replace her with another woman that I like better. And they was using that bill of divorce as a loophole to justify them committing adultery.
Okay, so the Most High told us, when you go to war against your enemies, not all our enemies, there are certain of our enemies that we go to war against. We kill them all. We kill them all. We take nothing. Example, 1 Samuel chapter 15. The Most High say, kill everything that moves. But there are circumstances where we go to war. The Most High told us, if you go to war and you see a woman you like, take her. You go to war against your enemies and you see the women that you like, take them. Take her. But she has to be a virgin. They must be a virgin. So you have no idea. See, anyway, we're going to leave this and start some other time, because if you understand the situation that we're supposed to be in, you will be surprised. You will be amazed if you understand the situation that the Most High wanted us to be. So we've lost our power. We've lost our power, our might, and we are at the bottom. Like we are in a situation where it's amazing, because the Most High Himself telling you this: if you go to war against your enemies and you see the woman that you like, if you like them, take them. The only requirement is that they have to be a virgin. That's it. That's the only requirement. If they have known a man, kill them all. If they have known a man, you can't take them. So things like that, it's so the point is that it's not really that's not the reason why you have Deuteronomy chapter 24. The reason is very simple. I've explained it. It's very simple. Deuteronomy 24 is just like any other law. Okay, letting you know, if this happens, this happens. If that happens, the other one happens. If this goes this way, this is the way it's going to be now, because this happened this way. It's really that simple. So it wasn't something complicated or whatever. It's not. There's no. Just when you read that law, it is what it is. Says what it says. The point of that law is very simple. If your wife goes and be with another man, you can't take her back. So when it says that if you see anything that you don't like in her, if you see anything you don't like in her, or it depends on the translation that you're reading, because I think Yeshua came close to explaining it much better. Say that except for fornication. That's the main reason. Except for fornication. So if my wife lay with another man and I find out, that's it. I can't be with her anymore because of, even if I want to, I can't because of Deuteronomy 24. So that particular 4 verse in Deuteronomy 24 is very simple. The point was very simple. If your wife, another man lays with her, that's it. You can't take her back. That's the only point Moses was trying to make. That's the only point. And that's what he wanted them to understand. That's it. There's nothing else. So when, you already know that you're not supposed to put your wife away. It doesn't need to tell you that. He already told you that in Deuteronomy chapter 22. Deuteronomy 22, 28, and 29. He told you that already. You're not supposed to put her away. But if another man lives with her, now you have to put her away because you can't live with her anymore. That's it. It's really that simple. It's so basic and so simple. I have a video on that. That video is about 7 minutes long or something. Very simple. So some people may use it today to justify divorce. Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, because you know who he is. I've actually talked to Pastor Dow before about this situation. I asked him, because like I said, I asked Pastor Dow personally. I asked him, is it true that I can only marry a woman who's a virgin or a widow? And that's what he gave me this. Is what he gave me this straight passage. He told me this right here, Deuteronomy 24, verse 2. He said, no, that's what it is. So
when did you ask him this?
I asked him on his weekly Friday.
No, I say when?
Oh, when? Maybe like 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well, Pastor Dow watched my video probably like 2 years ago. He watched my video about biblical marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So he already knows. You can go to one of those videos and look and see his comment. His comment is still there if he hasn't deleted his comment. So the video I have about biblical marriage on YouTube, he watched it. One of those videos, I think I made 2 videos initially. One for men, one for women. So in one of those videos, the easiest way for you to see that video, because it's been a while, the easiest way for you to see it is to go into the Coming Kingdom app. From the Coming Kingdom, although actually from the Coming Kingdom app, you're not going to be able to see the comments. So you can go and dig down into my YouTube channel and you see it. So he watched and he made a comment. When I asked him a question, he couldn't answer that question. So he watched the video, I'm sure more than 2 years ago, or like 2 years ago or something. So he already knows. And I'll tell you something right now. That woman that he lives with, probably not his wife. Probably not his wife. That's why he's doing this.
Yeah, I saw it as well back when I was first started studying it, and I saw his comment, and I saw that when he responded to you, but the comment and said you're crazy, and then you asked him to explain what he was talking about, but he couldn't rebut to the scriptures, so then he just left it alone. There was nothing else. He didn't say. I saw it.
Yeah, there's nothing to say. What can he say? Actually, I'm going to send him something, because in his video about new moon, debunking the new moon, he said that he's ready for a debate. I don't have much time, but I'm going to try to make time to debate him.
Yo, I've been really wanting you and him to debate. Really, I really.
So let him know. Let him know. He said, I'm sure, I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he will do it. I don't think Pastor Dal is going to do it. But I would love for him to do it. And I want a moderated debate, an official professional debate. So somebody will be in the middle and moderate it. He has his time, I have my time. He presents his case, I present my case. Let's see what happens. You know, so I don't have any doubt in my mind. I'm not shaking. If you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. It's not even about me. If you think that this is a false doctrine, then prove it. You know, so it is what it is. I don't think he's gonna do it because he's gonna expose a lot of his followers to the lunar calendar. He will expose a lot of them to lunar calendar, and as soon as they see it, they are going to pretend as if they disagree, but in their mind, they will know it's the truth. That's why I don't shake. See, what the truth is the truth. It's not me, it's the truth. The truth is the truth. When you have the truth, you have nothing to fear. It's the idea of debating. I don't have time for that nonsense. It's more of I'm trying to get to his followers. I'm trying for the truth to go out, for people to see it. That's what it's all about. It's for people to see it. So I'm going to do something that I may not agree with doing, which is to debate. Because listen, when people don't want to keep the law, they don't want to keep the law. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. And like as I said, if you have to force people, the only people you can force to keep the law is your children, your kids, up to a certain age. So when they are young, they're going to have to wear their fringes. Whether they, you know, at certain age, you make them do it. But there's going to come a time that you have to sit your kids down, get them pack their bags, bring it out to the living room. They have to make a choice. Your daughters, buy them bunch of pants. Go and buy pants for girls. Buy a bunch of pants, and get a girl that's like a whore or something for your son. Like, you have to make them choose. Okay, you have to choose. Are you going to choose to decide to keep the law, or you want to, like, what do you want to do? So at some point, you have to come to that point with your children, because usually in the beginning, they start doing it because of you. But at some point, you want to make them to stand on their own. You have to make them to choose. They have to choose what they want to do. You can't have your daughter staying away from pants because of you. Because when you're no longer there, she will go start doing it. So you have to, at some point, make them decide what they want to do. They have to decide. Do you want to keep keeping this law by yourself? Because you know what? You are free now. You can actually go and do whatever you want. So now they have to think about it for a couple of days and decide. You have to give them time to think about it. Do they want to? Because now they are free from you. Tell them, now, you know, I'm going to let you, if you don't want to keep the law, now you can go do whatever you want. And you're testing them too to see what they will do. So in that way, if they think about it a couple of days or whatever and come back and choose that they want to continue keeping the law, now they know that they are on their own. They are doing it because they want to do it. So you can do that with your children. But when it comes to other adults, you don't want to force people to keep the law. Yeshua did not force anybody. Our Heavenly Father does not force us. That's not how it works. Okay? So I don't believe in, you know, trying to debate and stuff like that. If I debate with you, there's something I'm looking for. Okay, there's something I'm looking for. And oftentimes when people come at me like that, usually in the beginning they're like, they know what they're talking about, blah blah blah, they know what, you know, and then I'm doing it to show you something. I'm trying to get you to see something. So, and when they see that, it is what it is. Sometimes people accept it, or sometimes they may not. So if I do it, it will be more of like, I'm going to suspend my personal feelings. I'm going to suspend whether or not I believe in debates or not, or whatever. I'm going to suspend all of that. And I'm going to do it for the sake of exposing this, so that those people who don't know about this, but they will do it if they find out, so they can have the opportunity to find out about it. That's why. So they can have the opportunity and be able to make up their mind. It's not to force people. You're not supposed to force people. There are people that would like to join us here right now who are not here right now. So I'm not. This is not about having huge membership, having lots of people. No, it doesn't. That's not. It's not about numbers. It's about quality, not about quantity. So I thought about it. I just don't have much time. But anybody who can, if you can reach out to him or whatever, if he's willing to debate me, but it has to be a professionally moderated debate. So it's not a debate where we start going through our feelings. I don't want a debate where he will start talking about how he feels about, how this is cult or whatever. He knows about cult because people accuse him of being a cult. So I wouldn't want. I want something that he will get 10 minutes. I'll get 10 minutes. He will get 5 minutes. I'll get 5 minutes. Okay. So everybody, when it comes to his time, he can use it to rant and use it to say whatever he wants to say. When it comes to my time, I'm going to use it to focus on that calendar, focus on the scriptures. So it will have to be a moderated debate, something that will be professionally done, and not. So I'm not just going to go to his radio show or his channel, no, and then let him, dominate it or be whatever, and just be all emotional. That's what people do when they don't have anything to say. They become emotional. They start shouting and they start making noise without saying anything. So I'm not gonna participate in something like that. So it has to be something professional. I don't think he's gonna do it, but if he will, that would be good. That would be wonderful. He knows about me. He knows he watches. He agrees with this thing because I think his wife is probably not a virgin when he married her, because he married her before they started keeping the law, right? That's probably what most people are dealing with today. So, and so yeah, whichever one, if it's about marriage, about biblical marriage, or the calendar, I would definitely debate anyone that wants to debate on a professionally moderated debate, meaning that there has to be someone in the middle and we have equal times. Okay, because if you don't have that, what people do is that they start becoming emotional. So they try to use emotion. They talk a lot without saying anything. They just keep saying, "Oh, it's a false doctrine. It's a false doctrine." That means nothing. What do you mean? Like it means nothing. So if he gets his time and he wants to use it to keep saying it's a false doctrine, good. I'm going to use my time to break everything down, to break everything about when the day begins, the everything, history part of it and everything. And at the end of the day, people see it and they will, those that want to accept the truth will accept it. Those who don't want to accept it, it doesn't matter what you do, they will not. It doesn't matter. Look at the situation with Luke chapter 16 from verse 19. That rich man was telling Father Abraham, "Can you please send somebody from over here to go get my brothers to not come over here?" Abraham said, "They already have the law and the prophets. They got the laws and the prophet." He's like, "No, if you send somebody from over here, they will listen and they will, do what they don't, so they won't have to come over here." Father Abraham says, if they don't listen to the laws and the prophets, they will not listen to anybody. So always keep in the mind that many have been called, few will be chosen. Matthew 22:14. Many have been called, few will be chosen. Second Exodus chapter 8 verse 1 to 3. Second Exodus 8:1, chapter 1 8 verse 1 to 3. Many have been created, few will be saved. Many have been created, few will be saved. So most people will not accept these things, and I'm not really after most people. I want to make sure that those few who will accept the truth, that they have access to get the truth. That's it. They have access to get the truth and accept the truth. And it's been happening. It's been happening very slowly. People are accepting the truth. So I would love to debate Pastor Dow. He said it. I don't think he would do it. I really don't think Pastor Dow would do it. I don't think he will do it. But if he's gonna be willing to do it, good. Let him bring it. Let's do it. Let's put it together. So yeah. I think he's gonna come up with some lame excuse. Oh, I don't want to talk to that guy. Oh, he's crazy. He's talking about biblical marriage. Yeah, I love debating people, but I don't debate anyone. out of debate. He's gonna tell you, yeah, I love debating. Yeah, I said I will debate anyone, but I'm not gonna debate him. I think that's what he's gonna say. So, anyways, all right. All
Yeah.
praises to our heavenly Father.
Brother, so I know you about to get off real quick, and something else I want to, cause I've been studying a lot of stuff. You know, I also was studying about the ancient Hebrew culture, and with all the and I just think that this was amazing because it's amazing how we take we take the Bible for granted, and we don't see how perfect it is when we pay attention. When I was studying the Hebrew culture for covenant, it means to cut or to bleed. In like biblical marriage, when Abraham when Abraham had to make a covenant with the Most High, he had to cut and bleed through circumcision. The same way that Yeshua had to bleed and be killed for a covenant for the New Testament is the same way that a woman, her hymen is the covenant to the man. And when you cut the hymen, the only reason why the hymen was there according to ancient Hebrew culture, the Most High gave the woman a hymen in order for her to have a blood covenant with the man. It's actually the blood that goes on her and the man, according to, I forgot what the word was used, but it was a Hebrew word that means covenant, which means blood. It actually literally means blood or blood oath. So that's where circumcision would come from in the Hebrew culture, and a woman's hymen is supposed to ultimately be her covenant with the man in the oath to the Most High. So I found that out, and when I saw that information was over, I said, "Man, it's over. That's what it is. That's when the two become one flesh." And that came from me actually trying to refute. At first, I didn't believe it. So actually, that came from me trying to debunk it over a period of time. More of the stuff, I was like, wow, it's just everything was there, and that was the Hebrew. And that said that in the ancient Hebrew culture, like all the ancients knew that. That's the reason why even if you think about it, Sarah, Abraham knew that he had to tell them Sarah was his sister, so they wanted to kill him because they knew in order for that to remove that first covenant, he has to die. And that was way before the law was given. The ancestors already knew this. They already knew that you have to kill the man before that. To even all the way back in the Egyptians, they already knew that when he was dealing with the kings, they would kill a man in order to take his wife. Why didn't they just kill him if they didn't know about that the woman's hymen is an oath becoming one flesh? So they already knew about these ancient scriptures from Enoch, and it said that the whole world already accepted it, but they decided to go the pagan ways. But it says it already knows that the Hebrew word for covenant, I forgot what it is, but it means to bleed or it means to cut. So that's what it is. The man, to know to have a covenant with the Most High, he has to get circumcised. He has to open up a blood covenant. For a woman to become a man's initial wife, she has to have a blood covenant. For Yeshua to have covered over our sins of grace, he has to have a blood covenant. You have to shed the blood of an animal in order to fulfill the sacrifice. And it's just over and over again. So it's really so much arsenal to use against it now that I know the truth. But it doesn't make life any more easier, of course, but you can't deny it when it's presented to you.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It's there's a reason why women are virgins. Okay, there's a reason why it's like that. It's not a coincidence. That's why a woman is a virgin, and you have that. Then you have the scriptures that talks about how if somebody take that virginity, then that person is her husband, and she's bound back to that man as long as the man is alive. So that's why the Most High tells the Israelites when they go to war, they are only allowed to take women that have not known a man. Any woman that knows a man, that woman should be killed. It's tough, but it is what it is. So they are only allowed to take a woman who is a virgin. Yeah, so it's not a coincidence that a woman bleeds. Most women that lose their virginity today and bleed, they have no idea why. It's not a coincidence. That blood there is the blood of the covenant. That's why you're supposed to take a white cloth. You take a white cloth and I wonder whatever happened to that video. Did I even put that video out? I think it may have. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be out. The video that when you asked me that question and I tried to record it, I can't even remember if it was out. It's supposed to be out already. But anyways, when a woman That's why you have to take a white cloth and make sure that the blood touches on it, and then the parents will keep it. So yeah, it's definitely, it's not just for nothing that a woman sees her period. Oh, I'm sorry, sees that there's a blood that comes out. No, it's not. There's a reason why for that. There's a reason why that happens. So, um, yeah, definitely, totally. There's a reason why for that. It's the blood of that covenant. Um, but when it comes to a covenant, it's not. It's more of like a covenant binding her to him. It's a covenant binding her to him. So the bigger picture of that will be us as a nation versus the Most High. We are under a covenant and we are married to him. We are supposed to be submissive to him, to his laws, to his commandments. So that's what happens. And that's why we're also circumcised. That's why every male is supposed to be circumcised. That's why it says in the today we looked at Jubilees chapter 15. Jubilees chapter 15, it says that blood, the blood that comes out, any man who is not circumcised does not have the sign of that covenant. So just like a woman, when she lays down and loses her virginity and the blood comes out, now she is now bound to that man. She is now bound to that man, to follow that man, to be under that man, to belong to that man. So that's why the Most High said that any man who doesn't get circumcised does not have the sign of that covenant. And that man is destined for destruction. Jubilees chapter 15. So when we get circumcised and we bleed, it's like a girl who is losing her virginity and bleeds. So when we bleed like that, we are now bound to the Most High. We are literally bound to him. So we are now supposed to follow his laws because now there's a covenant, and the blood that came from our penis is a sign of that covenant. So just like it happens between us and the Most High, it happens between women and us. So women are not accountable to him. Women are not, has not, have nothing to do with each other. It's between us and the women, and it's between us, the men, and the Most High. So what you see that happens between a man and a woman, like a smaller version of what happens when a man between us and the Most High, because we are accountable to him, just like women are accountable to us. So that covenant system, the women are bound to us, like it says in Romans chapter 7 from verse 1 to 3. As long as she's alive or we are alive, she's bound to us because that blood came out. We took that blood. There's the blood of covenant that came out. Same thing that happened between us and the Most High. That's it. It's the same thing. So it's the blood that comes out during the time that they lose their virginity. It's not just like a random thing. It's actually something that that it is something that it means something. It means something, and that's why I kind of use it with what happens between men to give you an example. And what the Most High is basically saying in Isaiah chapter 15, what he is really saying in Jubilees chapter 15. If you read it, what he is really saying there is that any man who is not circumcised, and he meaning that he didn't bleed, he doesn't have the sign of my covenant, and he's doomed. He's not, it doesn't belong to me. So how can a woman who did not bleed belong to you? Can she belong to you? It makes no sense. There's no covenant between you and her. So, yeah, all praises to our Heavenly Father. Thank you, Most High, for everything. And yeah, Zolina, we'll continue some other time and go into this more. It's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. We're told to talk about the law all the time. Talk about the law day and night. So All praises to our Heavenly Father. Yeah, I was willing. I will see you guys on our next meeting. Um, yeah.
Oh yeah, Toby. You remember you told me you was gonna go over me about Deuteronomy 23 verse 2 about bastard, because I told you that I'm a bastard. Is there some way you can go over it quickly? Because it's kind of like worrying me. I'm trying to figure out what does that mean, since I am a definition of a bastard.
Well, most people are a definition of a bastard. Most
Okay.
see, you are thinking, you are thinking because of that. In your mind, your dad and your mom was not married when you were conceived. Well, more than 50% of the world is like that today. So, what you call marriage when it comes to the
I mean, I'm
world,
sorry, man. I believe my mom was a virgin when my daddy had me. She was a virgin, but I mean, they wasn't. They probably didn't see themselves married, but I believe he did take her virginity. Yeah, but I
okay,
don't know.
if
So,
if he took a virginity, then you're not a bastard,
oh, okay.
because what counts is the way the Most High sees it. So if she was a virgin, then it doesn't matter what they think in their mind, because they didn't go to the white man and go to the church and go and start and wear a tuxedo and wedding gown. They're not married. That's what they think. But if she was a virgin, then they are married, whether they know it or not. They are still married.
Yeah, I'm not for sure if she was, but I mean, I'm not asking my mom if she's a virgin, but I think she was, from what I understand. I believe she was, but I
I
don't know.
mean, there are ways you can ask her. You can tell her what you're doing. Uh, there are respectful way of asking her. You know, hey, this is why I'm asking. Sometimes when you flat out ask people questions, they may not know why you're asking, and they may get offended. They don't know what you're asking. But if you explain to them, hey, I'm looking into this and I'm looking at this and I say this and I really wanted to know, was he the first man you were with? Was he the first man you were with? And he will also, she may also just casually answer you, no, he is or he is not. So,
So you
or,
saying if what was you saying about a bastard? So you saying it doesn't really matter or what?
okay, we're gonna go into it. We're gonna go into it, but probably not right now because we're like 15 minutes away or 20 minutes away of being here for 12 hours.
Okay.
So we went through a lot. So I understand, the question is very important to you. We'll definitely get to it. I thank our Heavenly Father for the things that we went through. We went through a lot today, lots of good stuff. So I thank our Heavenly Father for that. But we definitely, it's a very important question. But, you know, most people are really bastards in the sight of the Most High right now. Most people are in the sight of the Most High, because when a girl or a woman, when a girl is not a virgin, when she gets married, when she got married or a widow, then they are really, yeah. I mean, you could wear whatever tuxedo you want to wear and wedding gown, still doesn't change anything. It can never, even if you went to the Pope, even if the Pope is the one that did your wedding, still doesn't make her your wife. So, but we'll deal with it definitely. I promise you, we'll deal with it. Just like we went through all these other things that we went through today. So we'll deal with it somewhat when we meet. Probably we'll meet again, or I might do a video about it. I might do something about that particular subject. So we'll see.
All praises, all praises.
All right, my brothers. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Yeah, as willing, I will see you on the next Sabbath. I might end up doing something about that particular subject. If I do, I will post it up because I'm sure other people are seeing it too, just like you saw it. And they might be wondering. It's a very important question for us to deal with. So I might also do something. I may also do something, do a video asking Pastor Dal for a debate. I would love to debate him if he's willing to debate. I don't think he will do it, but we'll see what happens. All right, may Yah be with you all. May his peace be with you, my brothers. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And Yah willing, I will see you on the next Sabbath.
Thank you, Brother Tubaya. Happy Sabbath. Thank you.
All praises to the Most High, my brothers. All praises to the Most High. The one that we
Shabbat
did about, the one that we did about polygamy. It's going to be on video and it's going to be available. The first one that we did today about what we're supposed to be doing when we start keeping the law, that will also be available. Um, so yeah, thank our Heavenly Father for everything, and definitely anybody, if you would like us to talk between now and the next Sabbath, you can always call or send me a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And for those of you who are men too, those of you who are brothers, you need to understand, like as I said about Europe and America, most of our sisters will not want to leave. Most of our sisters will not want to, because when they hear things about Africa, they hear that it's very patriarchy. You know, if you go to Africa, right? If you're in Africa, you ask women, "Hey, what do you think about your husband ruling over you?" They'll be like, I don't see any problem with that. More than 70% of the women you ask that in the marketplace, is you ask them, what do you think about your husband ruling over you? They'll be like, well, I don't see any problem with that. That's what he's supposed to do. They will look at you like, what? Why do you ask me this? That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to rule over me. That will be their attitude. So these are things that our people kind of, our women in America kind of, they understand, they love America because it's a matriarchy system where women rules, so they love that. So that's why many of them will not leave. They would rather die in America than to leave. You have to keep that in mind. And so all praises to the Most High. May His peace be with you, my brothers, and Yazlin. I will see you on our next meeting, or if you want us to talk before then. And all praises to the Most High. Thank our Heavenly Father for everything, for opening our eyes and allowing us to understand these things. I give the Most High all the glory and all the honor for His love and His kindness. All praises to the to our Heavenly Father.